Welcome to Tokyo Station. And when you're traveling by rail, you have travelers like this man right here. How you doing, Norm?
Doing all right, John.
Pretty good. Long time no see. When was the last time you were here?
October of last year, right a week after travel opened. Not too long, less than a year.
I know that hat.
Yes. Well, I've got a bit more reason to cover the dome. So.
I'm right behind you. So we're going to talk today about some travel tips, in particular since the pandemic restarted November of 2022 and tourism restarted after that. There's been a lot of changes in travel here in Japan, a lot of shortcuts, things that make your life easier, and I learned a couple of them from Norm. We're going to try to find 5 of them, so I might have to help out, but I wanted to hear from you, Norm. What do you think? What's the first travel tip that you discovered, in particular on this trip?
Oh, first travel tip. Well, the one I shared, I think, was buying your Shinkansen tickets online ahead of time and buying them e-ticket. If you can attach them to your Suica card or a Passmo,
right,
it's ideal. You save, I think, 10,000 or 10,000 yen. End up saving, and you just tap and go in. It's a lot smoother, a lot quicker. You don't have to worry about buying a ticket, standing in line. It's much easier.
I've never done that. I live here.
Yeah,
so
great.
wait, where do you buy the tickets to put on to your smartphone?
Yeah. So you can do it on the smartphone as well.
I
did it
on the Suica.
Yes, I did it on the Passmo. So buy your ticket through the JR website. And then you can enter your Passmo card number. There's a number on the back of the Passmo or any other card that you have, and you can attach it to the ticket, and you're good to go.
And it just knows from the IC chip to tap. I never done that. That's just so much easier.
It is much easier.
I sometimes lose those tickets, but I have a receipt. I've had to prove it a couple of times, but wow.
I mean, I was nervous the first time walking through the gate and tapping it, waiting for the gates to close.
Right.
Walked right through. They'll send you an email so it knows that you've walked through. They track your progress, and highly recommend it. Absolutely.
Okay, so buy your tickets, use your IC card. And you can use any of them, including the Kitaka card and the Passmo Suica, to put your Shinkansen ticket onto that. Now, another thing is, I think if you have over 20,000 yen on your Passmo card, which is the maximum, I wonder if you could actually tap it, get on the Shinkansen, and then tap it out. Or do you actually need to buy a Shinkansen ticket? I cannot confirm that.
Yeah, so the ticket was purchased ahead of time. I did purchase it through the JR. I think for this one, for Niigata, is the JR East line.
Right.
I think. So I bought it through the JR East website. I think you could buy the ticket. It was either a month or like 60 days before the trip. And I reserved my seat, so I had my seat reserved as well.
Oh, so online you put in your Passmo number, which is on the back?
Yep.
Oh, and then that generates it into the IC code. So when that number taps through, they know it's you and lets you through.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I think you can also do similar stuff now with the vending machines. I know you could pick up your JR Rail Pass from the vending machines as well, or make seat reservations at the vending machines without having to talk to people. So that's sort of a new thing. There's also an app, I believe, that you can reserve your Shinkansen tickets onto your smartphone and tap just your smartphone too if you don't have an IC card. If your phone, not Google phones, not Androids, have that NFC capability.
If your Suica card is on your phone, you can put the Shinkansen ticket on that as well and tap in through there. So I think the goal is just to get people to stop going to buy the tickets in person or any issue. So self-service, it's great.
Some other travel tips. I guess you right now Passmo and Suica are not officially available, but you could possibly find them. Some people are finding them. The press release from them directly, not some random YouTuber, from them, was that they are suspended indefinitely. And indefinitely means we don't know. So that's the current situation here, but sometimes they have them. So you might discover them around, I don't know, but they don't have them here right now. So just to let you know that information. You can get a welcome Suica at the airport, and I think you can put your Shinkansen tickets onto that.
It's a
Maybe.
good question. I think
Not
if
sure.
it's got the same code, I think it's like a 9-digit code or something.
Yeah.
You can put it on there. It absolutely.
So if your welcome Suica has a 9-digit code, you can put it on there. Before you get the welcome Suica at the airport, at the port of entry, ask about that to the person who's selling it to you. If you're thinking about putting your Shinkansen tickets onto your IC card, which is really convenient, especially if you're running to the train like I almost typically do.
It's more than 9 digits. Sorry, everybody.
It's more
Whatever
than
the
9.
code is on the back of the card. Just use that. Yeah. Yeah.
What were our other 4 tips? Was that all we had? Oh, you have more? Okay.
So, one thing about the Passmo that you had mentioned that made me nervous, because my Passmo I've had since 2018.
Right.
And I think there was a comment about they expire or only hold value for 10 years. That's only 10 years if you're not using it.
Right.
So as long as you keep using it, there's no expiration date, as long as it keeps working. Yeah, so that's
Good
what
point.
I was concerned.
This is why we have 300,000 plus subscribers on this channel, and having some people come on here and talk about their travel experiences from the road. So there you go. As long as it's been used within 10 years,
Absolutely.
it's still there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Second tip. Second, I think the biggest thing for me is when I was looking at flights to come to Japan this time, I was looking at United
Right.
and the prices. And then I remembered someone had mentioned looking at the Japanese website. So I went to ANA, the Japanese ANA website, used Google Translate, found the exact same flight and ticket for 30,000 yen less than the United flight. So I ended up saving about $250 on my flight just because I used the Japanese website.
Whoa, wait a second. So is it because of the currency exchange, perhaps, or something like that?
It may have been the currency exchange, yeah.
That is a really good tip. I might have actually said that, though, in a past live
You
stream.
have, but just a reminder, yeah. It's
Oh, yeah.
Make use of it. Definitely worth checking. I can't, obviously there's no guarantee it's going to work for all, but it's worth checking.
It's worth checking. You can copy paste just of a Japanese site into Google Translate, and it will bring up that website, Google translating everything that you click through, and then you can have access to Japanese-based websites. And I think that's so true. There has been, like yesterday, we talked about how the English menus have a different price. That's sounds quite illegal. But this one, though, like because of the exchange rate, Japanese don't have the same purchasing power, PPP, was it purchasing power parity or something? Because of the weaker yen, the prices from the Japanese carrier are cheaper from buying on the Japanese website. And because most foreigners can't understand Japanese, that perhaps is a little bit of a loophole to save you 30,000 yen. That's pretty incredible. And you booked a better airline, because I have to say ANA is a little bit better than the one you were going to...
ANA was great, yeah. ANA was a great airline, yeah. Happy,
Yeah.
Very happy. I won't say who I flew last year, but it was better this year.
Oh, you
was
can...
better.
Who was it? Just
No.
Okay. He's not going to
It was fine, but ANA was much better.
give up your information. Okay, no. Yeah. Anything else?
Well, I think, and again, this is something you've said and other people have said before, because I was on Sato Island this trip, more rural.
Kodo, Taiko Group, Kodo.
Yeah, Earth Celebration Kodo.
Celebration, very cool.
I rented a car. It was my first time renting a car in Japan, and I was beyond nervous that first day. I signed the paperwork. They handed me the keys. I got in the car, and they just let me go, and I couldn't believe it.
Were you expecting like training as well, right? Like I was expecting the first time I went to Toyota Rent-A-Car, wait a second, are you not going to give me like a proper orientation? No, they just give you the keys and say go.
Just get out. We got other people to give cars to.
Right.
But it was so freeing to be able to go anywhere you wanted to. Obviously, if you're in Tokyo or any place that has a well-established transit system, you don't need a car. But on Sato Island, and even Niigata, I was in Niigata all of yesterday, it would have been nice to have a car there. If you're thinking about renting a car, absolutely do it. Highly recommend it. Yeah.
First 15 minutes are scary, but after that, how long did it take you before you're like,
15, 20 minutes. I think those coastal roads going around Sato Island took me a little bit longer because they were so narrow. But because the steering wheel is on the right-hand side, and everything's backward. I can't tell you how many times I went to
the left turn into the wrong lane.
Wipers.
Yeah.
The
windshield wipers.
I kept turning
Okay.
on the windshield wipers.
Okay.
Every time I tried to switch lanes. So,
yeah, I've done that. The windshield wipers. That's how you fail the exam, by the way. You don't want to signal with and the examiners know that when you ride the test, the wipers are on the wrong the different side, just on the outside.
Right.
That's how you can learn about it. And using your left hand for the parking brake and everything else. That was also a little bit weird, but
only getting into the passenger side once.
Right. Yeah. You can only do that one. Brandania's here. Aloha, Brandania. How you doing? Anything else? Because I might have some stuff to add, and I definitely have some questions for you, Norm.
So another one, and I think other people have mentioned this before, and it's something I haven't really done. the hotel that I stayed at in Sado Island, they had a breakfast, and I'd never really taken advantage of that before. I've always woken up early because I want to get out.
Yeah.
I'll hit a Lawson's or a Conveni to get something.
Not the healthiest choice.
Not the healthiest choice, right? But the breakfast is so convenient at hotels. If your hotel offers a breakfast and it's 15,000 yen or whatever, take advantage of it. It's so, and it's much healthier. It actually is. They have much healthier.
It is
food.
Japanese style, or they have usually
Japanese
a combination.
style, yeah.
Sometimes you'll find some scrambled eggs and sausage and stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the Japanese breakfast, I'm trying to cut down on carbs, a little bit rice, but things like natto and fish, and it's.
It was. It was. Yeah. I wish I'd done it my all 4 days there. So because 6:30 I think the restaurant opened and I could have gotten out. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're starting early, you need some little extra power for Earth celebration. Get ready for those taiko drums. Dang, dang. It's hardcore. Yeah, so I think that these tips will really help you if you're traveling around, and if you are part of our Discord server, reach out to me and share the information with Norm. Because when are you coming back to Japan? You leave tomorrow, right?
I leave tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I leave tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, next year hopefully with the family. Yeah. So.
You're supposed to bring them this time, weren't you?
Yeah, my daughter started school last week, and I couldn't convince my wife to get her out of school.
Ah.
So, yeah, but I'd love to have them. And, I think even to go back to Earth Celebration, I think maybe I'll see Kodo again when they tour it to see if they like them as much as I do. But yeah, Earth Celebration was really special. They really put on that.
You think it was too hot to camp? I know people underestimate Japanese summer.
I think folks you really have to be prepared to camp. If you like camping and 80 degree weather at night with 70-80% humidity,
Yeah.
90-degree weather during the day, yeah, it's brutal. It was brutal.
As someone who hitchhikes and knows about camping, those tents, unless you have a cross ventilation, it's so hot inside, even in the middle of the night. So I had to buy fans. I bought like 4 little teeny battery-powered fans that I had running for cross ventilation through the tent in order to survive in it. It would have been cheaper to stay in a hotel, I think, but the point was I wanted to stay in the tent.
Yeah.
So you need a cross ventilation, and if there's no air, and which is weird because it's an island, you'd think there'd be some air.
Yeah.
It's not all the time.
Not all the time there.
You don't have it.
Yeah, not in the summer, man.
Not in the summer.
Yeah, everyone has always said don't come to Japan in the summer, in August.
No, that's just me.
No.
Now I'm like reminding you. Yeah.
Everyone.
Don't come.
You be prepared. I'm thankful I brought sandals because I typically don't wear sandals. I'm a shoe guy, but my feet were being cooked in my shoes, so sandals the entire time on Sado Island. Just hot. These wicking shirts, they can only do so much against the weather.
Right.
It's brutal. Yeah. The heat is no joke.
So you're looking forward to going home, I think, after this. Don't make summer a habit.
Yeah. No.
All right.
No. Yeah.
It's really.
Yeah. This is the only summer trip unless we come back to Earth Celebration. So.
Yeah. Pick your season wisely. There's nothing wrong with summer if you like this kind of weather.
Or Hokkaido.
Hokkaido.
Would be good. Yeah.
Break up your trip and spend a few days somewhere else than the city, the Golden Route. Go into the mountains because that's the only way to cool down, or make sure you're at the beach or something where at least there's some seaside air, because it's just, we're starting to feel a change. I can smell a little bit of autumn. It's still really hot though. I'm sweating.
And
Michael Sasano, how you doing?
You had mentioned too, I think on the last video about coming in summer with the typhoons. I was concerned because the day before, my trip was almost canceled because of the typhoon.
Oh, right, yeah, when you were coming in.
Yeah.
That's when I did the typhoon stream.
So that's something to be really cautious about. Airline insurance, absolutely. If you're coming during typhoon season, buy that insurance, because if your flight were canceled, you have to, everything would have been canceled. Everything was so tightly scheduled between my hotels, Shinkansen tickets, the ferry to Sado Island, everything would have been thrown into chaos had my flight been delayed.
Local transportation. I hear you rode the bus in Niigata.
Oh yeah. The bus actually system in Niigata wasn't too bad. It was me not realizing certain restaurants close at different times.
Oh yeah.
On certain days. So, it's fun. That's another tip I've taken from other YouTubers that travel sort of on the cuff, is just to be comfortable with being uncomfortable and making changes on the fly. You can't. My wife plans so well, has alternate things when things are canceled. I'm not so great at that. If something gets canceled, I kind of I don't know what to do. But this trip was a bit more casual, so it worked out better.
I think I have the. See, everybody's built differently for traveling. I'm more like a pirate. I like when stuff happens that is bad, because that makes those days unforgettable. Seriously, after how many years have I been traveling? A lot of travel. The bad times are the ones I remember the most, and if you have a good attitude about it, it ends up being almost a pleasant experience. I remember missing my train from Scotland, so I missed every connection because I had to get to Sweden from Scotland, from Glasgow. I missed my train by 1 minute. That messed me up. So I ended up spending more money for the express train to London, and I took the TGV or the Eurostar to Brussels, and I ended up catching that train that I originally missed, and it cost me a lot more, but I beat the system. And I ended up celebrating really, really hard when I got to Uppsala in Sweden. That was a good time. But you have to be prepared for when things don't go right and be able to think and try to overcome it with a positive, because those are the stories that you tell your grandkids about, the day you missed your train from Glasgow, and things like that.
Guarantee things will go awry.
Oh
at
yeah.
some point, yeah,
Absolutely. Things go awry all the time, and that's not a bad thing.
No, not at all. Just roll with it. Yeah.
Maybe at the time, but afterwards. The pictures. Take a lot of pictures when it goes wrong. Take a lot of pictures. All right. Well, thank you, Norm. Anything else you wanted to add for the people?
People, no. Keep watching John. Support John. Support his channel.
I did not tell him to say that.
No,
okay.
not at all. He's got some great content coming up that I know he's working hard. Thank you, John, for coming out. Hopefully it's a short reprieve between editing, and I know you've got a trip coming up tomorrow, so I appreciate
I came out just to see Norm. Last time he got little Leo a Godzilla stuffed animal and a bunch of other really nice gifts and a gachapon. 2 of those gifts drove me crazy. One of them does still now, the Godzilla. Leo wakes up every morning with acting like Godzilla, with humping my head and making screaming sounds. So thank you, Norm.
You're welcome, and thank you everyone on Discord for all the comments and everything, and the likes on the pictures, and I'll share some more.
Yeah, Norm's on Discord. A lot of our community members over there are giving updates from the road, which is so useful for the other travelers. So I think there's 16,000 strong there.
Incredibly useful, yes. So many helpful people on the Discord channel.
Was that thunder? That was thunder. All right, check it out. There you go, Norm. I seriously,
right.
You can see it does not look good over here. Oh God. Yeah. All right, you know what?
All right.
Leave your questions for Norm in the comments below. Norm, go ahead and you can answer some people's comments when you're at the airport tomorrow.
Absolutely will.
Norm will help you out. Ask Norm anything, almost anything. I'll look into. I'm going to Kochi tomorrow at 7 in the morning. I'm going to be at the airport at 6, so early day. Thank you, brother.
John, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
I like the hat. How do you keep it? I got like salt stains on mine. It's all discolored.
It's the Tokyo summers will do that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Norman. Thanks all of you. Mata ne.